The more you know about what you do, the harder it is to explain it. And if you can't explain it, nobody buys it. That's not my opinion. That's a proven fact from psychology. And in this video, I'm going to show you why the thing that makes you great at what you do is the same thing that's pushing your clients away. Back in 1990, there was a student at Stanford that ran a test. She split people in two groups. One group were to pick a song, a popular song like maybe Happy Birthday, and listen to it while tapping. And the other group were to hear the tap and guess what the song was. Before this started, she asked the people who were tapping, how many people you think gonna guess correctly? And they said about half. Now that makes sense, right? If the song is Happy Birthday or something similar like that, half the people should be able to guess. They all should know it, right? Now let me ask you, how many do you think were guessed correctly? I'll give you a few seconds. All right, there was 2.5%. Out of 120 songs, only 3 were guessed correctly. Why do you think the tapper was so wrong? Because the tapper knew the song they were tapping to. When they tapped the song, they hear the melody, the drum, the words, everything. But for the listener, all they hear was random tap on the table, just noise. And the tappers couldn't understand why the listener didn't get it. It was so obvious to them, but the listener never heard what the tapper heard. This is the same with business. When you know everything about your skills, about what you do, about what goes into it, the process it takes, the outcome that come out of it, it doesn't say anything to your client. All your client hear is random tapping. All they hear are words, jargons. It doesn't speak to them. So you're sitting there thinking, why is nobody singing along to my happy birthday song? Whereas all they hear is tapping on the table. All they hear is noise. There's nothing wrong with being passionate about what you do. You can be passionate about what you do and be clear to your client about what to get out of it. You see, most time when we are passionate about what we do, we end up explaining so much about why what we do is so great without telling the client what to get out of it. In psychology, they call this the curse of knowledge. The more you know about something, the harder it is to explain it to someone who don't know. You see, you can't unknow what you know, so you forget how it was like to not know it. And here's the part nobody expected. This shows up the most in expert. Because the more you know, the harder it is to simplify. Not because you are bad at explaining, but because you see too much. Now, this is the part that feels so unfair. I mean, you didn't just wake up with all this knowledge. You worked hard to get it. You spent years learning, practicing, fail sometimes, but then you figure it out. You earn this knowledge. And now they're telling you, wait, all that years of hard work to build this knowledge, this is what keeping you invisible? I feel your pain. I feel it. I was there too. And a lot of high talented people I know are there. We feel like we know so much about what we do that our clients should know about it too. Because why not? They need it, so they should know about it. But we have to realize we live in two different worlds that complement each other. But it doesn't mean that our client know about our word. We may have studied their word, so we know that what we do can affect their word, but our client isn't taking the time to learn about our word. So what we need to tell them is not about what is in our world, but about how it affects their world. And here's the truth of the matter. Our client don't care about what is in our world. They don't care about the process. They don't care about the system. They don't care about what is in what we do. But what they do care about is they have a problem and can you solve it? That's it. Now, if your answer takes 3, 4 paragraphs or maybe 30 seconds, you have already lost them. I talk to skilled people all the time, people with real expertise, real result. And I ask them one question. What does your client walk away with? They freeze. Not because they don't know it, but because they never had to explain it in a way someone outside their head can understand. But here's what I hear them say instead. I help people get aligned. I bring clarity to organization. I build accountability structures. I streamline processes. That sounds smart, but here's the problem. That's what happened during the work, not after. That is the process, not the result. Even me, I catch myself doing this. I used to say how I help people get clarity and accountability on the system I created for them. It means nothing to them. Now, what I say is, I help people skip 2 years of trial and error and start getting clients in weeks. Now, let me show you the difference. I help company improve communication. That's the process. The question should be, what happens after you help the company improve communication? My clients stop losing the best employees every 18 months. Now, that's the outcome. So, because I help that company improve communication within that company, they then don't lose their employees every 18 months. Do you get the difference? Okay, here's another one. I create alignment between strategy and execution. What is it? Process or outcome? If you said process, you're right. In this case, outcome will be a project that used to take 2 years now takes 2 weeks. See the difference again, right? That's what the client care about. Not the steps, not the system, not the method, the result. Nobody hires a chef because promise quality ingredients. They hire the chef because the meal changes the night. The quality ingredients to them now is just a bonus. So why do smart people keep doing this? Why do they describe the process instead of the result? That's because your whole life you were rewarded for knowing things. In school, you get the grades for showing your work. At your job, you get the raise for knowing your stuff. So when someone asks what you default to proving you are smart. So here's what I'm going to tell you. The client doesn't care about how smart you are. They care about one thing. Does my problem go away when I hire you? School trained you to do the work. It never trained you to sell the work. You can have a PhD and still not know how to explain your value in one sentence. That's because nobody teaches that. Not your school, not your job, and not your home. So people walk around thinking they are the problem. I need more skill. I need more certification. But no, you don't need more knowledge. You need translation. Here's what the curse of knowledge is costing you. And I want you to hear this. Your content gets respect, but not responses. People read your post and think this person is sharp, but then they scroll. Your conversation goes long, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, but you still here. Let me think about it. For some people, when this keep happening, they stop posting, they stop putting themselves out there, and they default to in-person networking. They say, maybe I just need to get in the room. Maybe I just need to shake hands. But here's the problem. Even in the room, you still have to explain what you do. You still have to let them know what the outcome. Have you ever heard the phrase elevator pitch? That's your outcome in a nutshell. It's not your process broken down into 2 sentences. It's what your client actually get in 1 or 2 sentences. And after that conversation, you still have to follow up. And if your message isn't clear, nothing changes. Now you're losing deals to people with half your experience, not because they are better, but because they are easier to understand. You have felt this before. You walked out of a conversation knowing you were the better option. You have more experience, better result, stronger work, and they still chose someone else. Why? Because they understood them faster. That's it. That's not a skill problem. That's a message problem. And it comes from this. You know too much, so you say too much. And I want to tell you this. Simple wins every time. So, how do we break the curse? Here's the shift. Stop talking about what you do and start talking about what they get. The client only care about 3 things. What's my problem? What's the outcome if I hire you? And what does it cost? That's it. Everything else is noise. If you can speak to those 3 things clearly, you don't need to convince people. They will come to you. Now, pause for a second and answer this. If someone asks you what you do, could you explain it in 1 second? And would they actually understand you? Or would they just hear it tapping? If you're watching this right now and you realize this is you, here it is. The fact that you have this problem means you know more than most people in your space. You're not behind, you're ahead. You just haven't translated it. You don't need more skills, you need clarity. And clarity is what turns skills into clients. I want you to implement this fast. My wife always says success needs speed. Take what you learned today and test it. Next time someone asks what you do, don't explain your process. Tell them the outcome. If you want to make this faster instead of guessing, download my free guide, The 5 Mistakes Pushing Clients Away. But if you want to stop the trial and error and follow a proven framework, come to my masterclass. I will show you exactly how to turn what you do into something people instantly understand. Don't just watch this and move on. Use it. Test it. Because the moment you change how you say what you do, people understand you faster. Your conversation gets shorter and you start getting clients instead of explaining yourself. Thanks for watching. I make these videos because I have been through it, and the people I work with are going through it. I don't want you to spend years stuck when the fix is simpler than you think. Like and subscribe. I will keep making more like this.